Chapter 51 Unification of Hengzhou. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Then he glanced at everyone and announced, I'm Meng Chongqing, the former leader of the Qingtian sect. A wave of murmurs rippled through the crowd. Meng Chongqing. Isn't he supposed to be dead? He disappeared years ago. Yeah, we all thought he was a goner. Guess not. Sect leader Fu was stunned. Meng Chongqing was alive. And what was he planning, showing up now? Even Qin Feng was taken aback. Could Gao Cheng's actions have been a setup, all leading to this moment? He had a bad feeling about what was coming next. Ignoring the shocked faces, Meng Chongqing continued, I'm here today for the future of Hengzhou. It's weak, and needs a strong hand to guide it to greatness. He fixed sect leader Fu and Qin Feng with a stare. From this day forward, your sects will fall in line under the Qingtian sect. We'll pool our resources and finally make Hengzhou strong. Qin Feng shot back, and why would we do that? Meng Chongqing replied coolly, because I'm stronger than you. Qin Feng barked out a laugh. You're an old man, practically 6 feet under. Where'd you crawl out from? You've got a lot of nerve talking like that. Meng Chongqing brushed off his words. Refuse, and you'll die. I'd like to see what you old fossil, can do to make me kneel. Qin Feng lunged forward, weapon raised, but Meng Chongqing simply flicked his hand and sent Qin Feng flying. He crashed to the ground, spitting blood, his eyes wide with disbelief. This guy was seriously powerful. The Qingxian sect members rushed to Qin Feng's side, helping him up. Sect leader, are you alright? They asked worriedly. Qin Feng gritted his teeth. I'm fine, but the words were barely out of his mouth when he coughed up a mouthful of blood. The Qingtian sect roared with approval at Meng Chongqing's display of power. Other sects watched, stunned. Was Hengzhou about to be unified? Meng Chongqing ignored Qin Feng and turned his attention to sect leader Fu. And you? Sect leader Fu's face was grim. You may be strong, but you'll have to go through me to take the Jiuqing sect. Looks like you're determined to fight to the bitter end. With that, he started toward Fu, knowing that a fight was unavoidable. Sect leader Fu struck first, whipping out his soft sword and attacking Meng Chongqing. They exchanged blows in a blur of motion. Meng Chongqing remained calm and collected, easily deflecting Fu Zongzhu's attacks. He hadn't even gone on the offensive, while Fu Zongzhu's movements grew increasingly desperate. Not bad, you're one of the best Hengzhou has to offer. If you left, you might even improve, Meng Chongqing said, seemingly impressed. But it's still not enough. Suddenly, Meng Chongqing's aura intensified. Before sect leader Fu could react, Meng Chongqing's palm struck him squarely. Sect leader Fu staggered backward, barely managing to stay on his feet, but blood trickled from his lips. The power gap was too wide, there was no chance of winning. Unless he could master Zongzibu like Lin Yi, but that was easier said than done. Meng Chongqing was about to press his advantage when a voice rang out. Meng Chongqing, how long are you going to bully our sect? Meng Chongqing paused and turned to the newcomer. Well, if it isn't that old codger. Didn't think you were still kicking. Hey, I can't die before you do, can I? Sect leader Fu greeted the newcomer respectfully. Mr. Wang. Everyone in the Jiuqing sect was shocked. Was this the old man from the weapons pavilion, the one who was always sleeping? Could he be a hidden master? People from the other sects exchanged curious glances. Was the Jiuqing sect hiding something too? Step back. You're no match for him. Wang, you and I have been going at it for years, wins and losses on both sides. But things are different now. The gap between us is too big. Surrender to the Qingtian sect, and I promise I won't make things difficult for you. Otherwise, I'll have no choice but to get rough, Meng Chongqing chuckled. Oh, really? Well, let me see where your confidence comes from. You won't be disappointed. In a flash, they both attacked, trading blows at lightning speed. The fight seemed simple, but every movement showed the skill of a true master. Wang, I'm surprised, very surprised that you've been hiding in this backwater, and your skills haven't dulled, Meng Chongqing said, his desire to kill Mr. Wang intensifying. Huh, likewise. I didn't expect you to improve so much after you left. They continued to exchange blows, with no earth-shattering events, but everyone watching was mesmerized, completely absorbed in the fight. Finally, Mr. Wang was defeated, losing by a hair. But the defeat was devastating. He lay on the ground, unable to move, blood flowing freely. His face was deathly pale. The Juqing sect was filled with worry, Meng Chongqing said, trying to hide your strength, huh? I wasn't planning to kill you, but now I can't let you live. No. Stop. The Qingmen members cried out. Mr. Wang's eyes showed no fear, only regret that he had failed to save the Qingmen. Just as Meng Chongqing was about to finish Mr. Wang off, a figure appeared in front of him. Chapter 52 Return. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I saw a young guy step in front of Meng Chongqing. He was handsome, alright, but his eyes could suck you right into the depths of hell. Meng Chongqing's face turned grim when he saw who it was. He hadn't even noticed the guy approaching. Who are you? And why are you sticking your nose in our business? He demanded. It was Lin Yi. He went over to Mr. Wang, helped him up, and asked, Old Wang, who did this to you? Mr. Wang was surprised to see Lin Yi show up then, and he immediately worried, get out of here. Now, just then, sect leader Fu came over. Lin Yi looked at him and asked, Sect leader Fu, what's going on? The sect leader laid it all out. Lin Yi didn't realize he was the cause of all this. Seeing Mr. Wang and sect leader Fu hurt, Lin Yi's eyes went ice cold. He stared at one guy in particular, and you could practically feel the chill coming off him. You did this? So what if I did? Then you can go straight to hell. Meng Chongqing tried to say something, but before he could, he exploded. His body burst apart, spraying blood and guts everywhere. Just like that, a master of his generation, Meng Chongqing, was dead. The place went silent. No one had seen Lin Yi even move, and yet Meng Chongqing was gone. Lin Yi finally broke the silence. You all laid siege to our Juqing sect. Normally, I'd execute every last one of you for that. But I'm feeling generous, so I'll spare you this time, he said. But don't push your luck. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, but then Lin Yi added, Qingtian sect and Qingxian sect are the ringleaders, though. They're not getting off so easy. The sect leaders are to be executed, and the elders will lose their cultivation. Anyone who resists gets slaughtered. Before anyone could react, Gao Cheng and Qin Feng were dead, and the elders were on the ground, screaming in agony. After that, Lin Yi looked at the remaining disciples and said coldly, From now on, you submit to the Juqing sect. Anyone got a problem with that? The disciples were silent, their eyes wide with terror. They weren't about to object or say no. They stammered, we're willing to submit to the Juqing sect. We'll follow your lead from now on. Lin Yi's actions had left everyone in the Juqing sect stunned. They hadn't expected the situation to turn around so fast. Then, a roar erupted, like a mountain collapsing or a tsunami crashing down. Lin Yi! Lin Yi! Senior brother Lin Yi! The shouts echoed across Qingmen. Mr. Wang and sect leader Fu were just as shocked. They had no idea Lin Yi was so powerful. Could it be because of Mr. Fei? Soon, everyone left, and Lin Yi's name spread like wildfire throughout Hengzhou. His deeds were spun into stories and passed down, becoming legends. Later, Lin Yi was sitting on a balcony with Mr. Wang and sect leader Fu. He pulled out some pills and gave them to the two men. Take these, he said, and get some rest. You should be fine. The two took the pills. Mr. Wang looked at Lin Yi hopefully and asked, Lin Yi, can you get in touch with Mr. Fei? Lin Yi didn't know what Mr. Wang was getting at, but he said, since I joined the sect, it's been hard to even catch a glimpse of Mr. Fei, let alone talk to him. Why do you need to find him? It really was difficult for Lin Yi to see Mr. Fei. He'd wanted to see him again before he left. Mr. Wang looked disappointed and worried. It's really important, he said. Lin Yi could see that Mr. Wang needed to talk to Mr. Fei urgently, so he offered, "What's this about, Mr. Wang? Can you tell me? Maybe I can help." Mr. Wang didn't hold back and told the story of Wang Sheng. After hearing the whole thing, Lin Yi felt confident. "Mr. Wang," he said, "can you take me to see senior brother Wang? I think I can help." Mr. Wang had always been kind to Lin Yi, or else he wouldn't have gotten the Xiang sword. Besides, what happened to Wang Sheng was his fault. Even if it wasn't Lin Yi's intention, Mr. Wang didn't refuse and led Lin Yi to Wang Sheng's room. Wang Sheng lay in bed, pale as a ghost. If he didn't get treatment soon, even the gods couldn't save him. Lin Yi examined Wang Sheng. Luckily, there was still a chance, but it depended on Wang Sheng's will to live. First, he had to wake Wang Sheng up and heal the immediate trauma. Lin Yi said, "Mr. Wang, I'm fairly confident I can help senior brother Wang." Mr. Wang, who had been watching him closely, suddenly lit up. Hope flickered in his eyes. He asked urgently, "Lin Yi, is Xiao Xing really going to be okay?" Lin Yi nodded. "No problem," he said, "but whether it works depends on senior brother Wang's will. Please, use your medicine to save senior brother Wang. Mr. Wang, sect leader, please wait outside." "Okay." The two left the room without hesitating. They trusted Lin Yi completely and knew he wouldn't hurt Wang Sheng. Lin Yi took out a pill and put it in Wang Sheng's mouth, then channeled his spiritual energy into him. Wang Sheng's injuries began to heal right before their eyes. Soon, Wang Sheng's external wounds were gone, but he still had internal injuries, and his face was still pale. Suddenly, Wang Sheng's fingers twitched. Lin Yi noticed the small movement and knew Wang Sheng would wake up soon. Sure enough, a faint cough came from the room. Mr. Wang and sect leader Fu perked up when they heard Wang Sheng's voice. He was awake. He was really awake. Wang Sheng struggled to open his eyes and saw a handsome face. "Who are you?" he asked. As soon as he spoke, he felt a sharp pain. Seeing Wang Sheng wake up, Lin Yi felt relieved. "I'm Lin Yi from Yao Feng," he said. "Mr. Wang and the sect leader are outside." Wang Sheng knew that Yao Feng had a genius pharmacist. Chapter 53-9 The Light of Qingmen, Conquering the Path to Immortality. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin Yi opened the door for them. Mr. Wang and Master Fu were thrilled to see Wang Sheng awake. "Xiao Sheng, how are you feeling?" Mr. Wang asked, his voice full of concern. Wang Sheng tried to sit up and bow his head in respect, but it was a real struggle, and he broke out in a cold sweat. "Xiao Sheng, take it easy. Just lie still," Mr. Wang urged. "Ancestor, I'm feeling much better," Wang Sheng replied, his voice shaky. "That's wonderful, Xiao Sheng. You need to thank your savior. Lin Yi saved your life," Mr. Wang said, beaming. Wang Sheng made another attempt to rise and thank Lin Yi, but Lin Yi stopped him. "Brother Wang, I was the one who caused your injury in the first place. I couldn't just stand by." Mr. Wang shook his head. "Lin Yi, it wasn't your fault. Even without you, the Zhuqing sect was destined for trouble. This was inevitable. Actually, without you, the Zhuqing sect's centuries of history would have been wiped out. We would all be responsible for that." "That's right, Lin Yi, you're the reason the sect made it through this crisis. You're the biggest hero we have," Sect Master Fu added. "Mr. Wang, sect leader, I'm just a member of the sect. This is what any disciple should do. It's my duty," Lin Yi replied. "I started this whole mess, and now I'm the hero." "What the heck?" Lin Yi thought to himself. Then, turning to Wang Sheng, he said, "Brother Wang, just take it easy and take your medicine. When you're feeling better, we'll take care of those underlying issues for good." "Thank you, junior brother Lin," Wang Sheng said, deeply grateful. Though a hint of disappointment lingered in his eyes, Lin Yi understood why. "Brother Wang, don't worry. Once we deal with those problems, I think your martial arts skills will actually improve." Hearing this, Wang Sheng's eyes lit up. Really, junior brother Lin? He asked, excited. Brother Wang, time will tell. Lin Yi nodded affirmatively. Mr. Wang and Sect Master Fu were shocked. They hadn't expected Lin Yi to be able to completely resolve Wang Xing's issues. They were just relieved that he was alive. Mr. Wang's voice trembled as he asked, Lin Yi, is that really possible? Lin Yi realized he'd made a bold claim, so he explained exactly what had happened with Elder Duan. Besides, Elder Duan had it coming. After hearing Lin Yi's story, Mr. Wang and Sect Master Fu were furious. If Lin Yi hadn't been so strong, I would have been poisoned, said Mr. Wang. Sect leader Fu agreed, I can't believe that Elder had such ambition. If he'd been allowed to keep going, he could have destroyed the sect. The topic of Elder Duan quickly faded as they focused on Wang Sheng. They were anxious about what would happen to him during his treatment. Could Wang Sheng's willpower endure? Lin Yi, can Xiao Xing really handle this? Mr. Wang asked, still worried. Before Lin Yi could answer, Wang Sheng's eyes showed steely resolve. Ancestor, don't worry. I can do this. Lin Yi added, don't worry, I'll be right there with Brother Wang the whole time. With his determination, I'm sure he'll succeed. Finally reassured, the two elders breathed a sigh of relief. At this point, they had complete faith in Lin Yi, believing that this young man could work miracles. The three of them walked out of the room, still talking. Lin Yi, sect leader Fu said, the sect is going to hold a big ceremony to honor you for saving us. Lin Yi was taken aback. He didn't want any fuss, especially since he was planning to find the world of cultivation and leave the sect. Sect leader, I don't think that's necessary. It's too much. Besides, it wasn't just me, he protested. Sect leader Fu smiled. It's absolutely necessary. Otherwise, what would the other disciples think? It'll boost morale too. Mr. Wang stayed quiet, leaving everything up to the current sect leader. Lin Yi decided to be direct. Sect leader, after you heal Brother Wang, you probably know I'm planning on going away for a while, so it's better if I stay out of the spotlight. He paused, then continued, even though they were scared straight, some people will eventually harbor bad intentions. After I leave, just announce that I'm in seclusion for intense training and can't be disturbed. Anyone who violates this will be punished severely. Mr. Wang and sect leader Fu were surprised and didn't know what to say. They knew Lin Yi would eventually leave, but they didn't expect it to be so soon. Sect leader Fu said, the sea's the limit, and the sky's the limit. Hengzhou is too small for you. Staying here would hold you back. Go out there and make a name for yourself. That's what I call bringing glory to the Juqing sect. Mr. Wang echoed his sentiments. After that, the three parted ways. Unnoticed by anyone, a girl stood in a corner, silently weeping. It was the sect leader's daughter. She couldn't believe Lin Yi was leaving so soon after returning, maybe never to be seen again. She never got a chance, and they never even officially met. Lin Yi didn't notice her. He had already returned to Yaofeng. He knew every plant and tree. The herbs swayed in the breeze, as if greeting him or bidding him farewell. Lin Yi's footprints marked every corner of Yaofeng. He gently touched the plants and trees and slowly lay down. Wang Sheng, now fully recovered thanks to Lin Yi's treatment, looked back at Qingmen and Yaofeng, then quietly turned and walked away without disturbing anyone. In the direction Lin Yi had left, a girl watched his disappearing figure, tears streaming down her face. Sect leader Fu sighed, silently vowing to never let this happen again. Lin Yi's figure gradually faded from their sight. Chapter 54 Looking for the Realm of Cultivation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Did you hear? The Chao family's immortal cultivator disciple is coming back in 3 days. The officials are already buzzing about the welcome reception tomorrow. It's going to be a zoo. Heard? Please. The whole city's talking about it. This place used to be called Illusion City, but since Chao Chao from the Chao family became a disciple of those Xian immortals, they even named the city after him. Man, if my kid had that kind of future, I'd sell my soul for him. Haha. Someone guffawed. Old Zhang, if your kid turns into an immortal disciple, mine'll sprout wings and become a golden god. Humph. Don't get all high and mighty. Your melonhead's 10 years old and still has accidents in the middle of the night. Like father, like son, I guess. That's ancient history. Haven't done that in ages. The usual bickering between the two was so commonplace no one batted an eye. The conversation soon drifted back to Chao Du, drowning out their squabble. I heard that Chao Du was scouted by a traveling immortal and taken to the upper world to cultivate. How come no immortal ever noticed me? Maybe take a look in the mirror, buddy. Across the street in another tea house, a handsome man with piercing eyes watched the scene unfold. He sat alone, enjoying the view and sipping tea, mostly listening to the surrounding chatter. This was Lin Yi, still on his quest to find the world of cultivation. A year had passed since he started. His cultivation remained stuck at the second level of Qi training, but that didn't mean it was a wasted year. After a year of exposure to spiritual energy, his physical condition had improved significantly. If he could find a place with richer spiritual energy, Lin Yi believed he had a decent shot, maybe 60%, at reaching the third level of Qi training. Every step forward in cultivation was incredibly difficult, so the more advanced you got, the harder it became. Of course, Lin Yi didn't fully realize that yet. Lin Yi hadn't been wandering aimlessly. He'd followed the notes left by the ancestors of the Juqing sect, traveling from Hengzhou, where the sect was, to another Hengzhou. Same name, but two completely different places. Any top sect in this Hengzhou could easily crush his old Hengzhou. But it was true, the spiritual aura here was slightly higher than in the other Hengzhou. He'd even sought out sect leader Fu and grilled him about the Juqing sect in the Luoxia mountains. They were the most powerful sect in this Hengzhou, alright, but Lin Yi's real goal was to understand the monk world. At first, the Juqing sect resisted him at every turn, but after Lin Yi strong-armed a few of their leaders, they finally caved and cooperated. He didn't get the information he wanted, so he went straight to their library and locked himself in for 3 days. It was a major humiliation for the Juqing sect, outsiders barging in and occupying their sacred place. But they were too scared to say anything. Lin Yi devoured all the useful books he could find, but still couldn't find a single mention of real cultivation. It seemed this place was still far removed from the true world of cultivators. It wasn't a complete loss, though. After those few days, he had a more detailed picture of the surrounding area. After Lin Yi left, no one in the Juqing sect breathed easy. A month later, the head of the Juqing sect nervously entered the library and found that the exercises and other books inside were not missing. Then I breathed a sigh of relief, and I could finally let go of the worries I had been feeling for a month. After arriving in Taizhou, he also went to the sect, Shao clan, where sect master Fu had stayed, and met Chen Sheng, who made sect master Fu highly respected. After a short period of contact, it was indeed what sect master Fu said. At the same time in Taizhou, the same scene happened in Hengzhou Juqing sect, which made the warriors of various sects in Taizhou panic. In the end, they still could not find the answer Lin Yi wanted. There is a mysterious legend circulating in various regions. Many people add insult to injury and say that Lin Yi was sent by God to walk on earth. Various versions have emerged one after another and have been circulated for many years. Finally, 11 months after starting his journey, he heard rumors of a disciple who cultivated immortality in Yuanzhou returning home. He tracked the rumor back to a traveling merchant. Lin Yi searched high and low until he finally found the merchant. Lin Yi rushed up to the merchant. "You said there's an immortal disciple in Yuanzhou? Is it true?" That the merchant blinked in surprise, then replied patiently, "That's what folks are saying when I'm out doing business. Supposedly he's arriving in about a month." Lin Yi had been searching for nearly a year, so a lead was great news. "Do you know where Yuanzhou is? How far?" Seeing Lin Yi's eagerness, the merchant said, "Mister, you're not thinking of going to Yuanzhou to meet this immortal disciple, are you?" Lin Yi nodded. "That's exactly what I'm thinking." The merchant gave Lin Yi a strange look. "Sir, do you even know how far Yuanzhou is? You'd be lucky to get there in a couple months." That surprised Lin Yi. He hadn't realized Yuanzhou was that far. But then again, Lin Yi wasn't your average Joe. He was a bona fide, second-level chi practitioner. Just because a mortal couldn't do it didn't mean he couldn't. Lin Yi said, "Just tell me where it is." The merchant, eager to be rid of Lin Yi, told him the location of Yuanzhou and even sold him a map. Business done. Less than a month later, Lin Yi had arrived. After asking around, he found out the exact time and place the immortal disciple was due to return. He'd just arrived in Chengdu, sitting in a tea house, when the scene described at the start of this all happened. Chapter 55 Unforgettable. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a year of hard trekking and searching, Lin Yi was finally about to get the result he wanted. He could barely contain his excitement. He just wanted to enter the world of monks and stay there, especially since he'd been stuck on the second level of Qi training for so long. He sat in the tea house, gazing at the bustling scene of Chengdu city in the Yuanzhou area. Red lanterns adorned every street, which were impeccably clean. People bustled about, making last-minute arrangements. Chengdu was supposedly the only local disciple cultivating immortality. Ever since the capital learned of this, the Chao family's status had completely transformed. Officials were expected to bow to any member of the Chao family, whose disciples were exempt from all regulations. Consequently, some family members had become increasingly arrogant and lawless, leading to growing discontent among the capital's residents, but no one dared to voice their grievances. Over the years, news had filtered back from Chengdu that his standing in the Xianjia sect was steadily rising, which the Chao family eagerly spread throughout the capital. The fact that the capital had produced a disciple of immortality, and one whose status kept increasing, prompted the government to rename the city after Chengdu to emphasize his importance. From that point on, the Chao family became even more arrogant, their status skyrocketing, but Lin Yi didn't care about any of this. All he needed was a way to locate the world of cultivating immortals through Chengdu. Right now, Lin Yi knew almost nothing about the situation in Chengdu. If Chengdu's cultivation was higher than Lin Yi's, and if he was harboring ill intentions, it could be incredibly dangerous. Moreover, Lin Yi didn't know if Chengdu would be returning alone or accompanied by others from the sect. This was a question he needed to answer quickly. Otherwise, he might miss this opportunity. And who knew if he would ever have another chance like this? Thinking this over, Lin Yi looked around and called to the waiter, "Hey, can I get some more tea?" The waiter immediately responded, "Coming right up, sir. I'll refill it for you." The waiter grabbed the teapot, hurried over to Lin Yi, and said, "Sorry for the wait, sir. Let me top you off." After the waiter poured the tea, Lin Yi asked, "Are you a local, friend?" The waiter replied, "Born and raised here in Chengdu, sir. No bragging, but I know this place like the back of my hand. They call me the Chengdu know-it-all." The waiter went on, clearly proud of himself. Lin Yi was pleased, realizing he'd stumbled upon the right person by chance. He reached into his waist, pulled out a tael of silver, placed it on the table, and said to the waiter, "I didn't realize you knew the city so well. I've got a few questions about Chengdu. Do me a favor, friend. This is a reward for your help." The waiter replied, "Sir, ask me anything. If I know it, I'll tell you. Guarantee you'll be satisfied. But you don't need to pay me. I can't accept any money." Lin Yi hadn't expected the waiter to be so generous, but he insisted on giving him the money, believing in never owing anyone a favor. Lin Yi gathered his thoughts and asked the waiter, "I'm from out of town. I heard a while back that an immortal came from Chengdu. I've always admired him. And I recently heard he's returning to Chengdu city." Hearing that, I immediately rushed to Chengdu city, hoping to catch a glimpse of him, even from afar. But I'd really like to get closer, maybe even meet him. Since arriving, I've seen a constant stream of people pouring in, and it's already crowded. I imagine even more people are on their way, and their chances of meeting the immortal are getting slimmer. Missing this opportunity would be a lifelong regret. At this point, Lin Yi put on a pained expression. The waiter wasn't sure what to say, knowing many others were in the same situation, desperate to meet the immortal, but with no way to do so. After a short pause, Lin Yi continued, I know it's practically impossible to get close to the immortal, but I'm hoping to at least get a better view. Do you happen to know if there are any accommodations, maybe even guest rooms, near the immortal's house? Lin Yi looked at the waiter with hopeful eyes. The waiter didn't want to offend Lin Yi and said, Sir, your idea is a good one. Everyone wants to see the immortal, but the chances are slim. First of all, the government won't allow just anyone to approach him. If some troublemakers upset the immortal, the government would be in deep trouble. Secondly, the Chow family will probably clear the area and keep everyone at a distance. And so far, neither the government nor the Chow family has announced which route the immortal will take back to the Chow family after entering the city, which makes it even harder for people to plan. The waiter looked at Lin Yi with a touch of admiration and said, You're really smart to have figured that out. The waiter shook his head and continued, Even if you did think of it, the inns are already packed with all these people pouring into Tsaudu city. Forget about finding a room near the Chow mansion. Lin Yi's disappointment was evident. Seeing Lin Yi's expression, the waiter paused, then said, Don't be discouraged, sir. If you'd like, wait here after I close up, and I'll take you around to look. I know this area very well, and I'm friendly with many of the innkeepers. You might get lucky and find a room with a great location. Hearing this, Lin Yi thanked the waiter profusely and promised to wait for him after closing time. Chapter 56 Knowing People, Knowing Faces, but Not Knowing Hearts. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin Yi scanned his surroundings every half hour, hoping to stumble upon something good. He'd love to keep his senses active constantly, but his weak cultivation, only at the second level of Qi training, held him back. His range was limited to a mere 50 meters, and pushing it to the max made him dizzy in just 10 minutes. This only fueled his desire to dive into the cultivation world and level up fast. As Lin Yi was lost in thought, a voice snapped him back to reality. Sir, just a moment. We're closed for the day, so we can head out now. It was the tea house waiter. Lin Yi glanced around. 3 hours had flown by, and dusk was settling in. Even if he found something, it would be late. Thanks, I appreciate it, Lin Yi responded, then he added, By the way, what's your name? The waiter chuckled. No problem at all. Everyone just calls me Xiao Matzi, Pockface. You can call me that, too. Lin Yi decided to skip the formalities. Alright then, Xiao Matzi, no need for, sir, stuff. Just call me Lin Yi. The waiter quickly objected, Mister, you look important, impressive, like you come from a big family. How about I just call you Mr. Lin? Lin Yi didn't want to argue over a title. As they talked, the waiter led him to an inn called Tianxiang Tower. Mr. Lin, this is Tianxiang Pavilion, the best inn in Tsaudu City, and the most secluded. It's not just the location, it's the safest place in town. The guests here are all somebody. And get this, the real owner of Tianxiang Pavilion is Tsaudu Immortal himself. Most people don't know that. Even I, who knows everything about this city, had to dig deep to uncover that little secret. I'm bringing you here to try your luck. See if there's a room. You never know when the big boss might show up. But don't get your hopes up too high, rooms are usually booked solid way in advance. Lin Yi was impressed. The waiter wasn't just blowing smoke. He had some real intel. Xiao Matzi, you're a regular goldmine. Getting that kind of information from you is a breeze. Room or not, I owe you one. Mr. Lin, no need to be so polite. It's nothing. I'll go ask around. I used to work here, so I know the guys. Lin Yi followed the waiter through the entrance of Tianxiang Pavilion. From the outside, it looked ordinary, but inside, it was over-the-top luxurious, a testament to wealth. The waiter's eyes darted around, and suddenly he spotted someone. Hey, Pockface. What brings you here? Missing the ladies already? You're gonna drop dead in some woman's lap one day. The waiter turned to see a skinny guy standing there. Xiao Matzi scowled. Xiao, hey, stop throwing mud at me. Everyone knows me, But you've gotten thinner than a rail. You'll be carried out feet first one of these days. Xiao Matzi fired back, but Xiao He just grinned. I know what I'm doing. I'm happy to go out that way. Ha! It's not like you, sneaking around all the time. Xiao Matzi glanced at Lin Yi, making sure he hadn't noticed anything. He breathed a sigh of relief, but what Xiao Matzi didn't realize was that Lin Yi saw right through his act. This waiter wasn't as innocent as he seemed. Without engaging further with the skinny guy, Xiao Matzi said, "Hey, you seen Zhang Yi? I need to talk to him." Xiao He gave him a knowing look and nodded in a certain direction. He just went that way. Xiao Matzi turned to Lin Yi. "Mr. Lin, wait here for a sec. I'll go find my buddy and get the info. I'll be right back." "Sure, take your time," Lin Yi replied. "Don't worry, Mr. Lin. I'll get the scoop." Xiao Matzi hurried off. The skinny guy glanced at Lin Yi, gave a strange smile, and left without a word. Lin Yi watched them go. These guys were definitely up to something. And this Zhang Yi was probably the same. Birds of a feather, right? But it was none of his business. As long as they helped him achieve his goals, he'd reward them. But if they tried to pull a fast one on him, they'd get a lesson they wouldn't forget. Actually, as a cultivator, Lin Yi could easily get a room. But he didn't want to cause trouble. He didn't know what the rules were here. He might end up exposing himself. Compared to the cultivators in Yuanzhou, the warriors from other realms were nothing. The cultivation level here was much higher than other realms. From the moment he entered Yuanzhou, Lin Yi could feel that the aura here was much stronger. Therefore, if Lin Yi, a foreigner, tried to pass himself off as a warrior, people would think he was crazy. So he had to come up with a different plan. At this time, the waiter was also thinking. Chapter 57 The Name of the Restaurant. You are listening at novelfull.audio. While Lin Yi was thinking, Xiao Matzi approached him, looking troubled. "Master Lin," he said, "I asked about your friend, but all the rooms are booked solid, and it's gonna be crazy busy for the next few days. I begged him to help me out, but he really couldn't do anything. The situation's just unique right now." Lin Yi wasn't disappointed. He was just trying his luck. Besides, in a spot like this, it wasn't just Xiao Matzi who knew the inside scoop, plenty of bigwigs probably did too. A lot of this was likely prearranged. "Hey, thanks for trying, brother Xiao Matzi," Lin Yi said. "I appreciate you going to bat for me. What happens, happens. Since the hotel's full, maybe you could point me in the direction of somewhere else with rooms." Xiao Matzi was surprised Lin Yi wasn't more bummed out. He'd had a whole speech prepared to cheer him up, but it seemed unnecessary, which saved him some trouble. "Mr. Lin, you're too kind," Xiao Matzi said quickly. "I keep my promises. I said I'd help you find a room, and I will. I'll drag you to every inn around here and ask them all." Lin Yi said, "I could tell at the tea house you were a stand-up guy, full of courage and a sense of justice." "I won't say thanks, I'll just remember it." Little Matzi hadn't realized Lin Yi thought so highly of him. "Mr. Lin, I'm flattered, but I'm not that great. Let's go check out the next place." And so, Lin Yi followed Xiao Matzi to 5 or 6 inns, with the same result. Everything was booked, and would be for the next few days. It was looking pretty hopeless. "Brother Xiao Matzi," Lin Yi said, "it's getting late. How about we grab some dinner?" As if on cue, Xiao Matzi's stomach rumbled. But he protested, "Mr. Lin, I'm not hungry yet. Getting you settled is the priority. There are a few more places up ahead, and some inns to the southeast if those don't work out." He was talking a mile a minute, but his stomach kept interrupting with loud growls. Little Matzi was mortified. Lin Yi said, "Finding an inn isn't that urgent. And I'm starving. Let's eat first. Since you grew up in Saodu City, brother Matzi, I bet you know all the best places. What do you recommend?" The mention of food perked Xiao Matzi right up. "Mr. Lin, when it comes to food in Saodu City, I know it all. Every little hole in the wall. What kind of food are you in the mood for? That'll help me narrow it down. Lin Yi said, I'm not picky, really. I usually just eat simple stuff. How about you take me to the place you think is the most unique? Xiao Matzi thought for a second, then snapped his fingers. I know just the place, Mr. Lin. I guarantee you'll be singing its praises after you've eaten there. Lin Yi followed Xiao Matzi for about 10 minutes, back down the same street, until they finally reached the restaurant. It was kind of hidden. You'd think they'd be worried about getting lost. It was tucked away and out of the way, so not many people wandered by. But this was Xiao Matzi's guaranteed restaurant, so if it was as good as he said, it must have something special going for it. Lin Yi was curious. Even though it was remote, the characters above the door were striking. They were clearly written by a famous artist. The only two characters visible were Fanzhuang, bold and powerful, yet artistic. The beauty of calligraphy was evident in these two characters. Even though Lin Yi was a monk, he admired calligraphy and envied those who could create it. He'd practiced calligraphy back at Yaofeng, but his work was nothing compared to the two characters before him. He wished he knew who had written them. Just as Lin Yi was lost in the beauty of the calligraphy, Xiao Matzi's voice broke through. Mr. Lin, this is the place I was telling you about. It's called Fanzhuang. Don't let the location fool you. It's got something special, and big shots come here all the time. Xiao Matzi led Lin Yi through the gate, revealing a completely different world from what was outside. The environment was beautiful, elegant, and full of lush greenery, with birdsong filling the air. A small lake lay ahead, with a rain pavilion in the middle. Sweet music drifted from the pavilion. Mr. Lin, that music is coming from Yuding. It's Miss Lui, the most famous beauty in Saodu City. She comes here sometimes to play. You're in luck, Mr. Lin, to run into Miss Lui on your first visit. Lin Yi wasn't interested in the beauty Xiao Matzi mentioned, but the music was captivating. He instinctively used his spiritual sense to locate the musician. As he approached Yuding, his spiritual sense was blocked. This was a first for Lin Yi. Yuding was well within his range, but he couldn't see inside. He was curious but didn't push it. If he couldn't see, he simply listened quietly to the music. Xiao Matzi exclaimed, wonderful. Then, catching himself, he turned to Lin Yi. Mr. Lin, the dining area is just ahead. Let's order some food. Lin Yi nodded and followed. Chapter 58 Foxtail. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After dinner, Lin Yi thought back on the meal and realized Xiao Matzi was right. The food was incredible, a feast for the eyes and the taste buds. It was the best he'd had in years. Of course, the price reflected that. It was definitely out of reach for most folks, but food wasn't his priority. Finding a place to stay was. After following Xiao Matzi around and asking at every inn, they kept running into the same problem. No vacancies. Xiao Matzi explained, Mr. Lin, I've checked pretty much everywhere. I didn't expect them to be completely booked. And it's only going to get worse in the next few days. Waiting for a room to open up around here just isn't going to happen. I know what you're hoping for, though. Lin Yi didn't reply immediately, at a loss for a better plan. He'd have to play it by ear and hope for the best. When the time came in 3 days, Lin Yi shook his head with a wry smile. Brother Matzi, I'm stumped. I didn't realize the immortals were such a big deal. It seems my chances of meeting one are pretty slim. Xiao Matzi tried to encourage him. Young Master Lin, you just have that lucky look about you. You're going to be fine. You'll definitely get to meet the immortals. Maybe even talk to them. That he paused. It's getting late, though. Mr. Lin wouldn't want to sleep on the street, would you? Lin Yi's smile remained bitter. What else can we do? As if coming to a difficult decision, Xiao Matzi said, Mr. Lin, my place isn't far from here. I'm all alone, haven't had any family since I was 10. If you don't mind a humble abode, you're welcome to stay at my place for the night. Lin Yi had been worried about finding a place to crash. Even though he was a cultivator, he couldn't just impose on someone. Xiao Mozi's offer was a real lifesaver. Thanks, Brother Mozi, Lin Yi said. Just having a place to stay is more than enough. I wouldn't dream of looking down on it. Xiao Mozi responded, Master Lin, you gracing my home with your presence is like my ancestors winning the lottery. As he led Lin Yi to his house, Xiao Mozi described the place. Since he lived alone, it wasn't exactly tidy, and the house was probably a mess. Soon, they arrived at a rather rundown house. It was exactly as Xiao Mozi had described. It could be summed up in 3 words, filthy and chaotic. If you didn't know someone lived there, you'd think it was a junkyard. Xiao Mozi quickly apologized. Mr. Lin, I'm so embarrassed. I'll clean up a guest room right away. No need to trouble yourself, Brother Xiao Mozi, Lin Yi said. It's late. You've been working hard all day. You go and get some rest. I can manage for the night. Xiao Mozi insisted, Mr. Lin, you're not tired. You just walked a little bit. Besides, it won't take long to clean up. Lin Yi didn't argue. Together, he and Xiao Mozi quickly tidied up a room. After about 10 minutes, it was finally habitable. Mr. Lin, please get some rest. I'll leave you to it. Thanks a lot for today, Brother Xiao Mozi. Get some sleep. Since he started practicing qi, Lin Yi rarely slept in the traditional sense. Tonight was no different. He meditated and practiced as usual. Even though his qi cultivation wasn't progressing, he felt he needed to stick to his routine. He didn't know why, but he had a hunch that his persistence would pay off. Zhang Yi, it's done. The guy named Lin has moved in. I lit the sleepy time incense before I left. He should be out cold soon. If Lin Yi had been there, he would have recognized the speaker as Xiao Mozi, and Zhang Yi as the childhood friend he had mentioned. Zhang Yi asked, Are you sure there won't be any problems? Xiao Mozi said casually, I spent the whole day with that Lin guy, and I could tell he's got nothing going for him. And after dinner, when he paid the bill, I saw he had something real valuable on him. If this goes smoothly, we're set for life. We can retire and not have to look over our shoulders anymore. Just pure freedom and happiness. We might even be better off than the gods. Xiao Mozi was already daydreaming about a bright future, as if it was right there in front of him. Zhang Yi, fueled by Xiao Mozi's words, couldn't wait to succeed. He asked impatiently, Xiao Mozi, can we move now? Xiao Mozi glanced at the moon. Patience. Give it another 15 minutes, and he'll be knocked out. The sleepy time incense is extra strong this time. Once a normal person inhales it, they won't be able to wake up for days. Those 15 minutes felt like decades to them. Time seemed to stand still. Meanwhile, Lin Yi sat on the bed, meditating. Suddenly, he heard footsteps approaching his room, the footsteps of 2 people. He focused his spiritual awareness and recognized Xiao Mozi and another, unknown person. Zhang Yi whispered, like an ant, he should be unconscious by now. Xiao Mozi wasn't so sure. He signaled Zhang Yi to hide behind a pillar, cleared his throat, and called out, Mr. Lin, are you asleep? Lin Yi wanted to see what Xiao Mozi was up to, so he laid down on the bed, closed his eyes, and pretended not to hear a thing. At the same time, he kept his spiritual awareness focused on their movements. After Xiao Mozi called out a few times and got no response, he sighed in relief and told Zhang Yi, he's out. Zhang Yi stepped out from behind the pillar, impatiently. Xiao Mozi, what are you waiting for? Let's get this over with before something changes. Xiao Mozi agreed. He wanted to get it done as soon as possible. He gently pushed open Lin Yi's door. Chapter 59. Please start your performance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Mozi eased open Lin Yi's door and peeked inside. Seeing Lin Yi already in bed, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. He's out cold, he whispered to Zhang Yi. The stuff worked. He's not waking up for days. Zhang Yi chuckled. Days is right. Soon, we'll be done with this scary stuff and living the high life. He shoved Xiao Matzi aside, threw the door open, and headed straight for Lin Yi, Xiao Matzi right behind him. They stood over Lin Yi. Zhang Yi made a clicking sound with his tongue. Not bad looking, huh? All soft and pale. Look at us, all rough and weathered. We're from two different worlds. Skin like his. Only money can buy that. If you weren't such a screw-up at home, why would you be out chasing after gods? As if gods are easy to find. Hope you've got a fat wallet in there. It's time for you to make your final contribution. Otherwise, I'm chopping you into dog food just to relieve the frustration. Zhang Yi reached for Lin Yi's pocket. Just as his hand touched it, Lin Yi sat bolt upright, staring blankly at them. Xiao Matzi and Zhang Yi jumped back, startled. But they were pros. They quickly pulled out their knives and pointed them at Lin Yi. Why are you still awake? Xiao Matzi demanded. Lin Yi replied, sounding amused, yeah, why am I awake? Is this a dream? Then he acted shocked. Brother Xiao Matzi, aren't I at your place? Why are you pointing a knife at me? And who's this guy? What kind of dream is this? Brother Xiao Matzi is so good to me. I'd never dreamed this about him. This has to be a dream, right? Lin Yi pretended to pinch his leg, hard. Hey, doesn't even hurt. Definitely a dream. The two men stared at Lin Yi, dumbfounded. What the heck is going on? Zhang Yi finally asked Xiao Matzi. Xiao Matzi had no idea what Lin Yi's deal was. Hey, knock it off with the crazy act, he snapped at Lin Yi. Hand over the cash, and we might let you live. Otherwise, you're gonna regret it. Knife in hand, Xiao Matzi moved closer. Lin Yi leaned back, watching Xiao Matzi approach with a menacing look. Brother Xiao Matzi, you don't have to be so convincing in a dream. He looked at Xiao Matzi in fake surprise. Zhang Yi stepped up too. Forget the talking. Let's just finish him. Xiao Matzi agreed and lunged at Lin Yi with the knife. Zhang Yi was right behind him, ready to finish the job. Lin Yi covered his face with his hands. The two men thought about how this idiot even made it this far. Who wanders around alone like that? As their knives closed in on Lin Yi's chest, Lin Yi yelled. Stop! Xiao Matzi and Zhang Yi found they couldn't move. They could only twitch their mouths and eyes. Xiao Matzi, Zhang Yi asked in a panic, what's happening? Xiao Matzi was just as lost. How would he know? The scene was eerily silent for a moment, with Zhang Yi's terrified face, Xiao Matzi's shock, and Lin Yi shaking behind his hands. After about 10 long minutes, the two saw Lin Yi slowly spread his fingers, peeking at them through the gaps. Then, suddenly, he jumped up. He got right in Xiao Matzi's face, waving his hands in front of his eyes, then pinched his cheeks, nose, and mouth. Wow, dreams are so cool. Turns out, all you have to do is say, stop, and people actually stop. Lin Yi hopped off the bed, took the knife from Xiao Matzi, examined Xiao Matzi closely, then the knife, back and forth several times, and finally said. Brother Xiao Matzi, dying in a dream isn't real, right? I should stab you in the chest with this. Sounds fun. He pointed the knife at Xiao Matzi's chest. Xiao Matzi's voice shook with fear. Mr. Lin, this isn't a dream. If you stab me, I'll die. Nah. Lin Yi was firm. Why else would you stop when I told you to? Don't worry, pockface, I'll go right here. I promise it won't hurt. He raised the knife and pretended to stab. Stop. 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 Xiao Matzi screamed the word 3 times, his eyes wide with terror. Mr. Lin, please. I was wrong. I beg you, spare me. By now, Xiao Matzi knew he was dealing with a pro and could only beg for his life. It wasn't my idea. He blurted. Zhang Yi planned it. He forced me to help. He's the mastermind, Mr. Lin. Get him. Hearing this, Zhang Yi snapped out of his trance. He was furious but couldn't move. Don't believe him, Mr. Lin. He managed to say. He came to me when I took you to the inn and said he'd found a fat target and wanted to rob you tonight, that without giving Xiao Matzi a chance to respond, he went on, I've been a good innkeeper all these years, but this pockmarked freak has been pushing me every day, from stealing to murder and arson. I'm under his influence. He's the one who hangs out in the tea house, looking for suckers, then lures them here to rob and kill them. The things Xiao Matzi's done are unspeakable. Xiao Matzi quickly defended himself. Mr. Lin, it's not like he says. Think about it. What kind of person would do all that? Xiao Matzi, deny it all you want, but what about this house? Zhang Yi countered. The hole under your bed? How many bodies have you buried there? You can't explain that away. Zhang Yi, shut up. Xiao Matzi shouted. You're in this too. What do you gain by telling them? You betrayed me first. Don't blame me for being a jerk. We're going down together. Lin Yi stared at Xiao Matzi, then at Zhang Yi, making them both panic. Chapter 60. It takes no effort at all. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin Yi just shook his head. You make your choices, you live with the consequences. He stepped forward, knife in hand. Xiao Matzi and Zhang Yi, paralyzed with fear, could only plead, Master Lin, you're a generous man. We swear we'll never do it again. We'll turn over a new leaf, honest to God. Please, give us a second chance. Zhang Yi nodded furiously, adding, Mr. Lin, we're done with that life, we promise. They watched Lin Yi, nerves frayed. He touched their faces with the blade, and then a sharp, sour smell hit him. They'd soiled themselves. Lin Yi recoiled, pinching his nose. Xiao Matzi and Zhang Yi were too terrified to notice their humiliation. Saving their skins was all that mattered. They kept begging for mercy. Lin Yi started, let me tell you a story. Years ago, in a sect called Qingmen, an elder from Yaofeng came to a young man, begging for medicine. When he finished, Lin Yi asked, so, who do you think this young man is? They answered as one, that young man, is you, Mr. Lin. Spot on. Now, your reward is seeing Elder Duan. With that, he prepared to finish them. Xiao Matzi and Zhang Yi, realizing where this was going, cried out, Master Lin, please. We'd never be that ungrateful. Spare us. Lin Yi ended the game. 1/ each, and they were done. Their last expressions were of regret. So much for good and evil getting their due, huh? Lin Yi tossed them into the hole Zhang Yi had mentioned. Inside, he found over a dozen skeletons, a gruesome sight. These two had it coming. If it had been someone else tonight, an innocent life would have been snuffed out. And who knows how many more they would have taken in the future. After cleaning up, Lin Yi decided to leave. The whole place felt cursed. He thought back to the restaurant where he had dinner, that seemed like a good place to spend the night. He slipped back into the restaurant undetected. By the lake, the girl from the rain was gone. He still couldn't figure out why his spiritual senses hadn't worked on her, whatever. He couldn't crack it, so he moved on. He used his spiritual sense to scan the area as he walked, finding that the restaurant was much larger than he thought. Behind the lake was a rock garden, and behind that, a series of courtyards, probably for guests. Lin Yi headed for the courtyards. Most were empty, but one had a light on. He kept it classy, not using his spiritual sense to snoop. He randomly picked a courtyard and went in. It wasn't fancy, but it was clean and comfortable. Lin Yi went to bed and started meditating. Practice makes perfect, a daily ritual. Some time passed before he heard hurried footsteps outside, headed for the courtyard with the light. Curious, Lin Yi followed with his spiritual sense. It was a man. He stopped at the courtyard, knocked, and said, Junior Sister Miaoying, it's me. The door opened, and a young woman appeared. She was beautiful, but in an ethereal way, like she was too good for this world. The man froze at the sight of her. She was clearly used to it and didn't seem fazed. Brother Fang, please, come in, she said, turning back inside, snapping out of it. The man named Fong followed her in. Lin Yi's spiritual consciousness slipped in two. The young woman poured him a glass of water, then sat down silently. Junior sister Miaoyin, I've confirmed that Chao Du isn't returning to Caodu City for 3 days. He's coming back tomorrow afternoon. The earlier information was just a smokescreen. He's traveling with the sect on a mission and stopping by. His people won't be with him. Chao Du will be alone, meeting them at the Lilong Mountains the day after. Fong laid out the situation. Lin Yi couldn't believe his luck. But why were they so interested in Chao Du? How did they both find out about it? Miaoyin nodded, acknowledging the information, but said nothing. The man seemed accustomed to her quiet nature. He continued, Junior sister Miaoyin, since Chao Du is alone, and we know he's at the 5th level of Qi training, we can take him. With the two of us at the 5th and 6th levels, this is our chance. Lin Yi was surprised. These two had a grudge against Chao Du and planned to get revenge. He also realized the gap between his current level and theirs was significant. Facing Chao Du alone could be dangerous. But the monk he had been searching for was right here, and he felt like he was about to accomplish his goal. The young woman said, Senior brother Fong, we have to be careful. Chao Du might have some kind of protection from his master. We can't walk into a trap. Junior sister Miaoyin, don't worry. Even if he has a trick up his sleeve, we're prepared. He's not getting out of this. The man sounded confident. Then, they dove into the details, developing a complete, workable plan. They were satisfied with their thoroughness, unaware that someone had been eavesdropping the entire time. The young woman then seemed to remember something. Turning to the man named Fong, she said.